in and out.
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे Hare Krishna. We are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and we are on Canto 1, Chapter 18. And the text for today is text 23. So I can read the Sanskrit and the verse and the purport. Aham hi prasto ramano bhavadev apaksha atmavano gamutra yavan nabhyapatanti atmasammam atranias tatha san sammam vishnu gatim vipastita. Aham, my humble self. He, certainly. Vishtha, asked by you. Anyamana, as powerful as the sun. Bhavadhihe, by you. Akakshe, may desire. Atma avagama, as far as my knowledge is concerned. Atra, hearing. Yavan, so far. Nabha, sky. Patanti, fly. Atma Sanman, as far as it can. Patratrina, the birds. Tatha, thus. Samam, similarly. Vishnu Gatim, knowledge of Vishnu. Vipastita, even though learned. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Rishis, who are so powerfully pure as the sun, I shall try to describe to you the transcendental pastimes of Vishnu as far as my knowledge is concerned. As the birds fly in the sky, as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotees describe the Lord as far as their realization allows. Purport. The Supreme Absolute Truth is unlimited. No living being can know about the unlimited by his limited capacity. The Lord is impersonal, personal, and localized. By his impersonal features, he is all-pervading Brahma. By his localized feature, he is present in everyone's heart as a supreme soul. And by his ultimate personal feature, he is the object of transcendental loving service by his fortunate associates, the pure devotees. The pastimes of the Lord, its different features, can only be estimated partly by the great learned devotees. So, Srila Sutta Goswami has rightly taken this position in describing the pastimes of the Lord as far as he has realized. Factually, only the Lord himself can describe himself, and his learned devotee also can describe him as far as the Lord gives him the power of description. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined the group and are about to join.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji. Thank you Vaijayanti Mataji and Lakshmi Mataji as well. Really appreciate your time. I know it's a working day. I can see you working, Mataji. So sweet of you. And Lakshmi Mataji is also working today. So really nice of them. And I'm also working today. So we are all anyways, we will get started. Om Agnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmulitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtaya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Shrunavata Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Tatayantastoviya Bhadrani Vidunoti Subhritsadam Nashtapranishu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna. Right, we can get started. So it is the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, of Bhagavatam, first canto. And so the first 10 verses, it talks about Maharaj Parikshit's birth, death, dealings with Kali. So the first 3 verses specifically talk about birth, consciousness, surrender and death. And the glorious death means to remember Krishna at the time of death. And 5 and 6 talk about how Kali could not flourish in Parikshit Maharaj's rule. And 7 saw the good, that is how Parikshit Maharaj saw the good quality of Kali. And then 8 and 10 talks about Kali's ineffectiveness to devotees and importance of Harikatha. That's very important thing. We should, again, the importance of Harikatha was spoken, meaning the importance of Shravanam. Hearing was really emphasized in these verses. And 11 and 12 talked about, okay, what are the benefits that we get with fire sacrifice versus what are the benefits that we get with Shravanam, that is hearing. And then we understood that in devotional service, Neha Bikraman Asosti. Of course, there is no loss or diminution in this path of devotional service. And 13 and 14 talks about power of association and hearing Harikatha. Power of association, how important. If we are surrounded with people who are into Krishna consciousness, that is completely into Krishna consciousness and nothing but Krishna consciousness, we will also tend to associate that mood of that devotee. And hence we look for that elevated association where we can always be surrounded by such devotees so that our enthusiasm can be increased in bhakti as well. And then 16 and 17 talks about the fact that there is no satiation in Shravanam. There is not at all any tinge of satiation. You can keep on hearing Krishna Katha. And again, if there is satiation, that means we have material desires in our heart. That means we have an offensive heart. These are the symptoms why a person doesn't want to hear Krishna Katha, right? I mean, there could be other reasons like, I don't like Krishna Katha because I have some other desires such as that exists in the material world. So I don't want to hear. And because of our offensive mentality, Bhakti Maharani will not accept us, right? So that could be another reason why devotees are satiated by hearing Krishna Katha. But even if we feel satiated, should keep on hearing, hearing, hearing. And in that process, purification will happen. This is the medicine that we have got. This medicine, just because it is bitter medicine, we should not forgo that medicine. This is needed for us. And hence, we should keep on taking that medicine. As much as we take that medicine, that much progress will be there, that much purification will be there. See, your time limit now may be 1 hour of hearing. That time limit has to increase to 2 hours, 3 hours. Slowly, that time limit has to expand. You should feel, I really don't have any time. I'm running out of time to hear so much Krishna Katha is pending. I'm really running out of my age, my time. I'm nearing my death. I really don't have much time. So that kind of curiosity should be there. That time should expand in you. Okay, dear devotees, this is very important. Now your time limit could be 1 hour, but that time limit should increase over a period of time. We should, if chanting, if you're able to do only the minimum required, how about hearing? How about deity worship? We can just channelize our devotional service into various limbs, isn't it? So that way we are able to spend, that way you don't feel some people may get bored. Oh yeah, this 1 hour itself was too much for me. Like that. If that is the case, then you can spread out that devotional activity into different limbs. You can try deity worship. You can try kirtanam with other devotees. And this way, or you can do physically some service to the lordships, like distributing books, whatever that is comfortable, tying garlands to the deities, whatever interests you. Our goal is to expand time in doing devotional service. So it can be done in any form. But Shravanam is the most important limb because this Shravanam nourishes the other limbs as well. Of course, the other limbs also nourish each other. But Shravanam, what happens is, it will help you understand Shastra. And because of you understanding Shastra, you will have inclination to do more chanting. You will have inclination to do deity worship with care and with devotion. So Shravanam will have a direct impact on your services as well. That is why Shravanam is very important, dear devotees. Very, very important. And then the 15th one talks about qualities of the speaker, hearer, and the subject matter. You would have seen that verse. And then 16 and 17 continue to say no satiation in Shravanam, continue describing about Parikshit Maharaj. And 18 and 19 talk about power of holy name and Vaishnava Seva. So today, before going to the 23rd verse, we will try to see the past few verses and understand the commentaries of various acharyas and then go to the present verse. This way, you will also get a mood to what other acharyas have spoken about. Now you've seen what Srila Prabhupada has spoken in the purport, but if you understand keenly, Srila Prabhupada would derive it from other acharyas. So how he's able to do that is something we'll be able to see today in today's class. And then 18 to 23 talks about the fact that Sutta expresses his humility and glorifies Krishna. Okay, dear devotees, we can get started with our today's verse. I mean, not today's verse. We'll just go rewind back a few verses before and then go through them before we get into today's verse. That is the plan for today. Okay, we'll get started. Let me see which verse did I do. Okay, we will get started from 20 and then see how it goes. Okay, dear devotees. So the 20th verse, it's talking about how goddess of fortune hankers for Lord service. It is telling about the fact that there is no one equal to the unlimited God, unlimited Lord. Great demigods cannot obtain the favor of goddess of fortune, but she serves the Lord, although he is unwilling to receive it. So now, Srila Prabhupada has commented in his translation, it is now ascertained that the personality of Godhead is unlimited and there is none equal to him. Consequently, no one can speak of him adequately. Great demigods cannot obtain the favor of goddess of fortune even by her prayers. But this very goddess renders service to the Lord, although he is unwilling to have such a service. Now, Sutta Goswami is saying, how much can we glorify the Supreme Lord and his qualities, his devotees? Alam, alam. Alam, the Sanskrit word alam means enough. How much can we glorify? He says, how much we can glorify? We can't glorify like that. Alam means let's stop here. We can't glorify more than this because he is unlimited. Alam. That is why he's saying stop, stop. We can't glorify him because why? He is unlimited. And we move on to that subject in that sense. Meaning we can't glorify more than this because he is unlimited. Because by his qualities, the Supreme Lord can, nobody is equal to him and nobody is greater than him. Meaning nobody is equal to him and nobody is greater than him. Then what can you speak about his glories? How much can you speak about his glories? We know Sakshat Lakshmi Devi, she is leaving all others who are falling at her lotus feet, begging for some benedictions. Hitva, she is not paying any heed to them. She is abandoning them. She is neglecting them. The goddess of Lakshmi, Yashyangri Renum Jushate Nabipsho. Actually, she hankers for the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. Although the Lord, he has nothing to gain from her. He doesn't want anything from Lakshmi. But Lakshmi ji is behind him, desiring his dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. And while all others are willing to have Lakshmi ji's grace, and thereby begging for her grace, her merciful glance, let Lakshmi just give upon her merciful glance. But she doesn't pay any heed to them. The Supreme Lord is actually worshipped by Goddess of Fortune. That is the point of this verse. Our Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, he says, actually, how much are those qualities of the Lord? Who is qualified to speak about them? Who is capable of speaking about this Lord? What are those qualities? Who can speak about them? Whatever is indicated here, it is talking about Ananta Shakti of the Lord by talking about his devotees. Alam, alam. This is alam. For now, this is sufficient. Because who can speak about his glories? He is unlimited. Because his qualities are unlimited. Nobody is equal to him. Nobody is greater than him. Where is the question of somebody being greater than him if somebody is not even equal to him? That is Krishna. If somebody is not equal to him, how can he understand the unlimited glory of Krishna? Right? Nobody can. So in this way, such Supreme Lord, he does not desire anything from Lakshmi ji. He doesn't want anything from Lakshmi ji. But still she hankers, I want the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. Because she wants the Supreme Lord. She wants the Supreme Lord who is Sarva Guna Purnam. She wants to serve that personality of Godhead who is filled with all transcendental qualities. And that is none other than our Lord Krishna or Narayana. She wants to serve such a personality who has all these qualities. We know Shamudramantan Leela, right? If you look at it, there you can understand Lord Vishnu is full of qualities, transcendental qualities. Of course, Mother Lakshmi is transcendental, Lord's eternal consort. This Leela, this Samudramantan Leela is showing that Lord is Sarva Guna Purnatva. This particular pastime is not entertaining the possibility of Mother Lakshmi thinking about somebody else. No, that is impossible. Lakshmi ji is a chaste wife of Lord Vishnu. But what she is showing through this particular pastime is Lord's Sarva Guna Purnatva. How Krishna is only, how Krishna is Sarva Bhushana. He's filled with these wonderful transcendental qualities. And that's why Lakshmi ji, she wants to serve such a personality. She is hankering for the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. But the Lord doesn't want anything from her. She wants to please him. She wants to engage in his service. Others are, if you look at others, they are hankering for Mother Lakshmi's grace. Take it Brahma and all of them. Mother Earth was also Bhumi Devi. She is also saying the same thing. That Brahma, 17th chapter, in 17th chapter, what is she saying? That even Brahma and all of them, they hanker for Lakshmi ji's grace. They perform tapasya. because they wanted Lakshmi Ji's grace, so that they remain fortunate, they remain prosperous. But even then, she neglects them, actually. She doesn't pay any heed to them. She herself wants to achieve the association of the Lord. So such is the personality of the Lord. And if you look at personalities like Brahma, Shiva, they also want to serve, I mean, Lakshmi Ji, they all want to serve the Supreme Lord. How great he is. The whole world is running behind I mean, obviously, the whole world, if you look at it, they're all wanting to have, running behind personalities like Brahma, Shiva. But this Brahma and Shiva, they want Lakshmi Ji's glance. And what is Lakshmi Ji wanting? She wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is why, how great he is. Who is equal to him? Who can be greater than him? That is the point Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura wants us to understand. Now, a very important point is coming, which is given by our Acharya Jiva Goswami. What is he saying? A very important point. Please just pay attention to it. It's a good new fact. So, Sri Jiva Goswami, our Acharya, he says, this is showing Ananta Gunatvam of Krishna. That is, these unlimited qualities of Krishna, it is showing his unlimited qualities of Krishna. This verse is showing that. So now, Lakshmi Ji, who offers benediction to others, she is the Bahiranga Sampatti Rupal. That Lakshmi is the one who's obviously some benediction given to people who want to be prosperous. That Lakshmi is who? Bahiranga Sampatti Rupa Lakshmi. And what does that Lakshmi want? That Lakshmi, he is going to talk about one more kind of Lakshmi. And this is Bahiranga Sampatti Rupa Lakshmi. And what does she want? She also wants to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. Although she travels all over the world giving benedictions to people, but what does she want? She wants to worship the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. She doesn't want to leave the lotus feet of the Lord anytime. So he clarifies there are two forms of Lakshmi. One Lakshmi is Bahiranga Sampatti Rupa Lakshmi, and another one is the one who never leaves Lord at all. At any point in time, this particular Lakshmi, another Lakshmi, she stays with the Lord all the time. She never leaves the lotus feet of the Lord, and she is called Antaranga Sampatti Rupa Lakshmi. Okay. So this the one we understand Bahiranga Sampatti Rupa Lakshmi. She resides, wherever there is, she resides somewhere. Wherever she resides, there is prosperity. So even that Lakshmi, that is Bahiranga Sampatti Rupa Lakshmi, she also deserves, or she also desires to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. And we also see another Lakshmi, which our Acharya Jiva Goswami says, who's Antaranga Sampatti Rupa Lakshmi. And what does this Lakshmi do? She never leaves the lotus feet of the Lord. So Jiva Goswami speaks about it, speaks about the two forms of Lakshmi. Even in third canto, he brings up this point. Now our Acharya Srila Prabhupada says, this is how our Supreme Lord is. He's worshipped by personalities like Brahma, Shiva, Mother Lakshmi. He's such a great personality. And then he quotes Svetashvara Upanishad, but he has nothing to do with any of them. It's not that he's looking for a favor or something from any of these people. He doesn't want his Atmaram. Okay, so this is the verse. Again, we have to understand one point. This will be talked in the future cantos, like third canto. Even though even though Lord Narayan doesn't want anything from Lakshmi Ji, still we should understand how much he loves Lakshmi Ji, because he keeps her in the chest, in the heart. So that is how much our Lord Vishnu loves Lakshmi Ji. So that is very important here, devotees. So this particular verse is trying to prove the fact that Lord Narayan and Krishna, they don't need anything from anybody, but still these servants of the Lord like Lakshmi, Brahma, Shiva, they're all hankering for Lord's lotus feet to exemplify and glorify the qualities of the Lord. But then we need to understand that Lord's devotees are very, very close to his heart. And an example would be Lakshmi Ji, who always wants to render service to the lotus feet of the Lord. Where is she kept? She's kept in the heart of the Lord. That means How we should understand all the devotees, they are very close to Krishna's heart. And hence, hurting the devotees means directly hurting Krishna. Please understand this fact. We cannot do that. They are all very close to Krishna. If you are going to offend them anyways, Krishna is going to be hurt really, because he keeps them so close to his heart. Okay, dear devotees, very important that we should never hurt any devotee anytime. Please, if you have any anger, any fret with any kind of devotee, just keep it to your heart. With time, it will go away, but never react. Okay, so this is very important, because with time you will understand, oh, how silly I am to think of blaspheming that devotee or criticizing a devotee or getting into a fight with that devotee. Why I said just keep quiet for the time is you will understand over time that this is not worth it. So blaspheming, criticizing, doing ninda, nothing, because they are Krishna's heart. Okay, so that is the first verse. That is 20th verse. Now moving on to the 21st verse. The 21st verse, Srila Prabhupada talks about in his translation, who can be worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord but the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Brahmaji collected the water emanating from his tail, the nails of his feet, in order to award it to Lord Shiva as the worshipful welcome. The very water, Ganges, is purifying the whole universe, including Lord Shiva. So if you look at this verse is talking about who else but Lord Krishna can be called as Bhagavan. So the water from his toenails, that is Ganges, was collected by Brahma, and it purifies the three worlds along with Shiva. This is the theme of this verse. So he is worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord, but the personality of Godhead. If you look at Brahmaji, what did he do? In the translation, it's saying he is worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord, and it's nothing but Krishna. So Brahmaji, what did he do? He collected the water emanating from the toenails in order to award it to Lord Shiva as a warm welcome. That is, this Ganges, what does it do? It purifies the whole universe, including Lord Shiva. Supreme Lord, what happened there? Actually, this water of Ganges is washed the toenail of the Lord, and it purifies the personalities. And who else can be called as Bhagavan? That is the meaning. Who else can be called as the Bhagavan? Only Mukunda. Who else can be called as Mukunda except Lord Mukunda, whose water has washed the toenails? And Brahmaji, what did he do? He collected the water in the Kamandalu to put it onto his head. It purifies Shiva also. Shiva holds it where? Holds that water in his jata. So that water of Mukunda, which is the water emanating from the toenails of Mukunda, who is keeping it? Brahmaji is keeping it in his Kamandalu to put it into his head. And Shiva, what is he doing? He holds it on his jata. So only he is worshipped. He is worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord. He is the only person who can be called Bhagavan. This is that person. Another definition in terms of his greatness. The water which emanated from which touched his toenails, this water is accepted by Brahma. So in the 8th canto, when Lord's lotus feet reached Brahmaloka, actually when it touched the universal covering, it just made a hole there in the universal covering. And the one drop of water, because the universal covering is broken, the one drop of water from the causal ocean came out. And that one drop of water, it became Ganges. So that water, when it was touched by the lotus feet of the Lord, he extended it to reach the Brahmaloka. Okay, and from there, Brahmaji brought his Kamandalu and he took it so that he can put it into his head. And then he also collected water again. That's what he collected the water to put it onto his head. And then he also bathed that with that water from the Lord. So the same water came to Shivji also, so that he could hold it into his jata. And then the water would have reached Patala, and would have made its way to different places. So Ganges is if you look at Ganges, it's considered to be combination of three waters. Ganges is coming from the causal ocean. It's also water from Brahmaji's Kamandalu, and then water from Shivji's Jata. So it has its three sources such as causal ocean, and then the water from Brahmaji's Kamandalu and Shivji's Jata. This is what 8th canto says. Now our Acharya Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura says that these are the three sources you can see. So this way, Mahadev, he holds the water of Ganges in his Jata. So that is why, apart from Mukunda, who can be called as the Supreme Lord? He is the only Sarveshwara. So this way, we can just understand Mother Lakshmi, Brahmaji, Shiva, they are all serving the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the glory of our Lord. The great personalities, these are all great personalities. Lakshmi ji, Brahmaji, Shivji, they are all great personalities, and they are serving who? They are serving our Supreme Lord, and hence who else can be called as Bhagavan? Can you understand the point? Who else can be called except Lord Krishna? Jiva Goswami, our Acharya, he is also saying the same thing. How God's greatness in terms of his great personality is seen. Even Mahadev is purified by him, because Mahadev, our Acharya Jiva Goswami is saying, our Mahadev, our Lord Shivji, he is in touch with one of the modes of material nature. Which mode he is in touch with? Anybody knows? Anybody knows which mode he is in touch with?
Ignorance.
Yes, he is in touch with ignorance, mode of ignorance, tamoguna. So that is why it is said, even he is purified because of the touch of this Ganges water. That is what our Acharya Jiva Goswami says. Okay, so meaning that even Lord Shiva and Brahma, these personalities of God, these personalities, they are in touch with the modes. Not that they are influenced by the modes, but they are in touch with these modes. Lord Shiva and Brahma, they are in touch with mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Right? So we have seen that earlier in the first canto, in the earlier chapters, that is the point our Acharya is saying, to say that these personalities are also purified by the Lord's water, which is washed, with Lord's water, meaning the water that has touched the lotus feet of the Lord. And Prabhupada also speaks this idea. Brahma, Shiva, Lakshmi, they are the greatest, and still they are worshipping our Supreme Lord. Prabhupada very nicely connects this verse to our 4 sampradayas. Very beautifully he connects. There are 4 sets of worshipable devotees of the Lord, and the chief amongst them is, we know Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, and then Gaudiya, we have Madhva Sampradaya also, right? Now we could understand that these Brahma, Rudra and Shri Sampradaya are descending from Brahma, Shiva and Lakshmi respectively. Besides the above 3 Sampradayas, there is Kumar Sampradaya also, which is coming from Sanat Kumara. Prabhupada mentions that. And he's saying that actually these 3 personalities are the leaders of the Sampradayas. So if they are worshipping our Supreme Lord, then their followers should also obviously worship the Supreme Lord. Meaning they can understand that they are the gurus of the Sampradaya, right? The followers should understand they are the gurus of our Sampradaya. And if they are worshipping the Supreme Lord, who else can be greater than him? Who else? Anybody is greater than him? Who else can be called Bhagavan? Who can be greater than him? Nobody can be greater than him. This is how Prabhupada connects the greatness of the Lord by connecting the 4 sampradayas to say, who are the who are these sampradayas coming from? It's these sampradayas, if you look at Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, they are coming from Brahma, Shiva and Lakshmi, and they are worshipping whom? These 3 sampradayas, if you look, and then we have the 4th sampradaya also, Sanat Kumara, but they are worshipping whom? They are worshipping our Supreme Lord. That means these people, Lakshmi, Brahma and Shiva, they are worshipping our Supreme Lord. That means he is the greatest. Nobody is greater than him. That is how he connects the verse. Dear devotees, it's very important to understand how the verses are connected. right? How we are able to show and showcase the greatness of Krishna. This has to get into our heart. That is the purpose of going through the commentaries of our acharyas. I'm just briefly touching upon them, not very overtly getting into the each and every detail of the commentary, but at least some salient points we are seeing, just so we can understand at a glimpse how the acharyas are glorifying the Lord. Okay, so now we'll go to the 22nd verse. 22nd verse, Srila Prabhupada, that's the verse you'd have seen yesterday, right? Self-controlled persons who are attached to the Supreme Lord Krishna can all of a sudden give up the world of material attachment, including gross body, subtle body, and go away to attain the highest perfection of the renounced order of life, by which non-violence and renunciation are consequential. So, not only Lakshmi, Brahma, and Vishnu, see, understand the connection, dear devotees. So far, we have seen both these personalities, Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu, they are hankering for what? They are hankering to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, we are able to see, oh, not only them. You know what? Brahma, Shiva, and Brahma, Shiva, and Lakshmi, they are worshipping our Supreme Lord. But who else is worshipping? If you look at, even the devotees are worshipping the Supreme Lord. These people, these devotees are also worshipping the Supreme Lord. Who are the devotees? These are devotees who are very much self-controlled. They have given up all attachments, leaving aside what all they have left for Lord. They have left the body. They have left aside their gross body, their mind, attachment to the mind. They have, left everything and accepted what? They have accepted the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And basically, who is this referring to? Specifically, who is this referring to? Who are we talking about in this chapter? Anybody? Especially this self-control person, who are we talking about? Who suddenly gave up the world of material attachment, including his gross body, subtle mind, everything. And then he went into the renounced order of life for what? Who is this person we are talking about, dear devotees? Anybody?
Mataji, there is an answer. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Kushanatma Prabhu, continue.
Yes.
Same with Lakshmi. Lakshmi
Parikshit
Mataji
Maharaj.
says, yes.
Yes, very nice. Yes, that is the person we are talking about. He renounced. What did he do? All of a sudden, that's what Prabhupada says, now self-control, how self-controlled he was. He's so attached to the Supreme Lord that one day he got a curse and decided, okay, I will give up all my material attachment, including my gross mind, subtle body, including the designation that I am the king. I'll give up everything. I'll go into the renounced order of life. And here Krishna Katha. And finally, he went to the abode of Lord Krishna. This verse is referring to Parikshit Maharaj. How people like Parikshit Maharaj, they are also proof of Lord's greatness. See, they are also proof of Lord's greatness, isn't it? See, what happened to this person? By worshipping the Supreme Lord, he became exalted so quickly. He has become detached from everything. Again, by the grace of the Lord. So not only the Lord is being worshipped by Lakshmi, Brahma, and Vishnu, but also by his own devotees. The own devotees are the proof of his greatness. See what has happened to them. See the qualities of the devotees. What all they gave up for one, just a minute, everything. He gave up this Parikshit Maharaj. So what is this proving to? This is proving the fact that the qualities of the devotees also proves the greatness of the Lord. This is the connection. So we are coming verse by verse to understand this connection. Otherwise, there is no rasa, right? There is no enjoyment. There is no thrill. See, my main problem is with Srimad Bhagavatam specifically. I started, when I initially started off, went by verse, but I never understood the connection of the verses. And over a period of time, nothing stuck to me in my heart. I mean, I knew the story superficially here and there, but nothing got into my heart. Nothing, fulfilled my heart. Then, I used to be writing notes, but even then I was focused on that verse, but never saw the connection. That is why I always want to at least give a recap to see, okay, how are these verses connecting? A little bit of overview, little bit of getting now. what I started relishing is just going few verses ahead, at least from where I stopped, to kind of give that overview. I don't know if it is helpful or not, but this way we get a connection to the verses. So how we are able to see the connection, because otherwise something has to stick into our heart, and what I missed, I want to incorporate in my teachings so that everybody is benefited. So that is why I'm going through the few verses ahead to see the connection and then come to our verse for today. Anyways, dear devotees, without wasting any further time, such kind of people, they are worshipping this personality. That is, such kind of people means people like Parikshit Maharaj. How great that personality of Godhead should be if they are worshipping the Supreme Lord. So accepting this path in which there is no himsa, there is perfect self-control. They achieve what? Through this perfect self-control, they achieve Lord's abode. Self-control means what? Self-control means anukulyasa sankalpa pratikulyasa varjanam, doing everything to please the Lord. Anytime, we are all tatastha. We can either way do fall and pray to Maya or take the shelter of lotus feet of the Lord. At what time, what we choose is very important. Every minute, what we choose is very important, dear devotees. That is self-control. Well, very, very difficult. But Maharaj Parikshit was a self-controlled devotee. So, now coming to our Acharya Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura. The devotees who can be seen, meaning whose qualities can be observed. Such great devotees. These people are self-controlled devotees. They are the pramanam. Pramanam means what? Proof. They are the proof for what? They are the proof for Lord's greatness. That is the point. Again, we can see that our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, Vishnu Chakravarti, they all talk about similar points. So we should understand that Srila Prabhupada has taken his commentary from our acharyas only. That is why I'm repeating it, so that you kind of understand. Yes, Srila Prabhupada quoted this. So where is it coming from? It's coming from either Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura or Srila Jiva Goswami, like that. Okay, so now we are understanding Lord's greatness by seeing the praman of great devotees like Parikshit Maharaj. What have they all the attachments which are there, they leave immediately and surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord. This way, they attain the highest limit of their existence. What is the highest limit of somebody's existence? Reaching Lord's abode. And by practicing this path in which there is no himsa, there is perfect self-control and all that. Actually, the rarity of devotees, that is also a proof that how great personality is worshipped by them, right? Rarity of the devotees. Because even the muktas and siddhas, that is the devotees of the Lord Narayan, they're all very rare. In that personalities also we see Paramahamsas, who are very, very rare. So being a great devotee, Ananya Bhakta is very, very rare. So it's not like, yeah, I see Ananya Bhaktas all over. Wherever I'm living, I'm able to see such Bhaktas. It's very rare. And when that rarity is seen, and what do these rare people do? They also worship the Supreme Lord, which is the point that Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura is telling. He's talking about how rare these great personalities are, how rare the Ananya Bhaktas are. And what do that kind of Bhaktas do? They also worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sudurlabha. Narayana Parayana. So Durlabha. That way. He's trying to help us understand the rarity of Krishna Bhaktas. And then he's contrasting these devotees to say, oh, not only great personalities like Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva worship the Supreme Lord, but the devotees themselves are a proof. Great devotees like Parikshit Maharaj themselves are a proof to help us understand Lord's greatness. In this path, there is no matsarya. There is, fixity on the lotus feet of the Lord. That is why it is the highest path. Prabhupada also talks about different themes, and then he speaks about Paramahamsas, meaning there are great devotees, Paramahamsas, he talks about in the purport to say, who wants to worship the Supreme Lord. They give up all the attachment and all of a sudden give up their bodily attachment and everything, and they become attached to what? They become detached to something. They have to become attached to something else, isn't it? Otherwise, how will it work? If there is an attachment, there has to be detachment. I mean, if there is a detachment, there has to be an attachment to something else. So now, after detaching themselves from this worldly things, what do they get attached to? Lord's lotus feet. And this is proved by Parikshit Maharaj, Prabhupada says. And then he talks about renunciation also. Renunciation means renouncing one's dependence on the conditions of material nature. That is, and then becoming dependent on what? Becoming dependent on mercy of the Supreme Lord. An excellent definition that Srila Prabhupada gives. What does he give? Again, I repeat, renunciation means renouncing one's dependence. Dependence on what? On the conditions of material nature and becoming completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. This is actual independence that is shown by the devotees. So these devotees are showing us how the Lord is to be worshipped. That is what we learn from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, and now coming to our verse for today, dear devotees, the final verse in the series as well, because with this verse, the theme ends. So we are seeing the final verse where Srila Prabhupada quotes in his translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Rishis, who are as powerfully pure as the sun, I shall try to describe you the transcendental pastimes of Vishnu as far as my knowledge is concerned. As the birds fly in the sky, as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotees describe the Lord as far as their realization allows. Oh, Rishis, who are asking, I shall describe to you the transcendental pastimes of Vishnu as far as my knowledge extends, isn't it? So we need to understand that, it is said, I will speak that much which I have realization on. Like he gives an example. So he's giving an example. So Sutta is giving an example. He's giving an example saying, just as the birds fly in the sky, they fly as per their capacity. What is their capacity? Can they reach any time to the end of the sky? No. They can fly up to a certain height. That is possible based on their capacity. Otherwise, you look at it, the sky is unlimited and nobody can meet its end. So similarly, Lord's glory, if you look at it, it's unlimited. But I will speak. So they're saying, I will speak. How much ever, whatever is my limit of realization, I will speak. Same way, who can understand Vishnu Kati? Those who are intelligent, they can speak whatever is their realization, isn't it? So this is the beautiful mood of a speaker. See for how humbly he is submitting himself to say, see, sky is unlimited. He's comparing it with the bird's example to help us understand, yes, it's unlimited. Sky is unlimited, but the birds can fly up to a certain height. Similarly, Lord's glories, they're all unlimited. But I will speak to the limit of my realization. This is the humble mood of a speaker. If a speaker is speaking something, he should understand from Srimad Bhagavatam that he is not speaker. He is not speaking. This is Guru Maharaj who is speaking through him. Because through his blessings, he is able to tell Krishna Katha. Otherwise, he has no qualification to understand the subject matter such as Bhagavatam. This is the realization we have learned from Srimad Bhagavatam. I know I have quoted that verse several times because it has impacted my heart so deeply that whenever I deliver Krishna Katha, I want to imbibe that mood. Not only Krishna Katha, anything in that we do in this material world, or, again, Krishna has to be in the center, even if we do material activities. Karmarpanam has to be done. Even if we do material activities, slowly we will elevate to Suddha Bhakti platform. But till the time we are in the material activities, we have to have Krishna in the center. No other way, no other way, no other way for such kind of people who are still in the material realm, doing material things. Okay, coming back to a point, what is Sutta saying? Sutta is saying to the Rishis, oh Rishis, Krishna is unlimited, but I can speak that much that my realization allows. Okay, now coming to Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura, what he says, he's calling them as Aryamas, meaning they are effulgent as the sun. Why he is calling the Rishis as Aryamas? Because they are effulgent as the sun. And why they are effulgent? You may ask this question. Our Acharya clarifies. This is the, he puts us a question and then he answers our question. Any purpose. I mean, I relish those commentaries because our Acharyas, they give us a question and help us understand, oh, what is the response for that question? Now, why are they effulgent? They are effulgent because their knowledge of Shastras, because of their knowledge of Shastras, they are effulgent. Because they are following the Vedas. Vedas are considered to be great. They are strictly following the Vedic rules and regulations. So they are compared to Surya. Now he says, oh yeah, as long as my realization goes, I will speak. As much as my strength, as much as the birds have strength, that to that extent they can fly in the sky. Not that they could fly the end of the sky. There is a limit to the sky. This is the same thing we saw. Similarly, intelligent personalities, those who have Vishnu Kati, they talk about Lord Vishnu as much as their mati goes. They are surrendered to Vishnu. That is why Vishnu Gati, they have got Gati to Vishnu. They have surrendered onto the lotus feet of Vishnu. But as much as they are, to whatever extent they can speak, to that, I mean, as much as their mati goes, to that extent they can speak. Even Sukadev Goswami, coming to the second canto, he will also bring up this point. Now, Prabhupada, what is he saying here? Prabhupada is saying, factually, only the Lord himself can describe himself. If you want a complete description of the Lord, only the Lord can describe himself. And his learned devotees, they can also describe as much far as the Lord gives them that power of description. Lord has to give them that power and ability to describe his glories. To that extent, the learned devotees can go. As much as Krishna has empowered a devotee, we can speak that much. That is why there is no point of becoming envious of a devotee. No point at all, isn't it? This is a very nice principle that we need to understand. If we understand this point, that Krishna is allowing or giving empowerment to a certain extent so that this person may be able to speak Krishna Katha to that extent, nobody will envy anybody. We do our role because we are used as instruments in the service of Krishna. Then we should understand we should not be envious of anybody. Let the other personality do his role, becoming instruments of the servants of Krishna. If we are becoming envious of them, what does it mean? It means we are becoming envious of Krishna. So we speak our best. Whatever is offered to us, we do our best. If this idea is there, if this understanding is there, then we will never get insecurity in Krishna consciousness. If I do my contribution, let others also contribute. Krishna is the ocean. There's, again, you get into a bus, the bus will get filled after 100 passengers, say, for example. But Krishna's mercy is so unlimited that he can accommodate 1 billion, 1 trillion, no matter how many devotees come to him, he can give mercy because his mercy is unlimited. You understand? It's not that if he gives mercy to me, you'll be deprived of mercy. No. Etamam prapatyante thams tataiva bhajamyaham. We need to understand this, dear devotees. That's when envy will be rooted out. It is there in subtle form. If you accept it or not, anytime this envy is there, that's why we are here. Please just at least accept it in the first place. Then we can move forward. Okay, tinge of envy is there in everybody. So we should accept the fact, yes, when somebody does something more, we feel envious of a devotee. Even devotees, yes, we are all getting purified. So it's better to accept and work on that rather than not accepting it. Our ego will not allow us to say, I don't have envy. No. First accept, then work on it. Okay, dear devotees? So in devotional service, we don't need to compete. We contribute. We all contribute together. We do the contribution. I have to do my own contribution as much as I am empowered. And other devotees, let them also contribute. Why should I become insecure? We have to become internally secure. We may be qualified, we may be talented, but if we are internally insecure, then that is the most miserable thing, dear devotees. Because there will be people always better than us. Maybe speaking, but somebody else may be a better speaker than me, or somebody else will be more knowledgeable than me. Yes, always there is somebody who's better. Okay, so there is no need to be internal feeling insecurity. We all have our own understanding to the extent Krishna has empowered us. All we need is to contribute, become instruments in the Lord's service. That's all we need to do. The rest, Krishna will take care. Picture closed. Don't think too much about what others are doing. Why am I not? No, don't do these comparisons, please. Do to the extent possible. Do to the extent it's possible for you. Never compare. And that comparison, that is what leads to real problems. Krishna is not deprived of mercy. He is the ocean of nectar. He's filled with mercy. So he will give it to you, he will give it to me, he'll give it to others and 1,000 other people, 10,000, 20,000. No limit to his mercy, dear devotees. So there is no need for us to become envy. This is the point that is being clarified in this purport. So with this, we will end our class today. Mancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to our acharyas and all glories to Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, thank you very much for this excellent class today. And I'm cognizant of the time, and I know everybody's working today. So if there are any burning questions, we'll allow Mataji to take it. Otherwise, we can end this session today. Are there any questions or comments? Mataji, there are lots of activities happening in different places. That's the devotee number is less, but then they'll catch up and watch the recording. So yeah, I'm sorry for that, but I really appreciate that in spite of working, you didn't want to miss today class tomorrow in spite of going for the Rath Yatra, and we changed it to today. So thank you very much, Mataji. Enjoy tomorrow and do darshan on our behalf as well.
Yeah, sure.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
Krishna Atma Prabhu, can you end the session, please?
Hare Krishna. Danvat pranams to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna Mataji. Danvat pranams. Sorry, I also had a small question or just an issue to clarify. In this envy, thing, the other day there was a clip I was sent. Rukma Prabhu usually sends us. He talked about envy. So we talked about the fact that envy is also a dual thing. That if I am envious of someone, it doesn't have to be that it is because they are doing better than me. Is it also envy if that person, when I see someone suffering and I'm happy, if there is also that case, is that also envy? Does that mean I'm also envious?
You mean when others are suffering, you don't
Yes.
react to it?
You don't react and you're actually happy. Like when you see it sometimes, because of our false ego, when you see sometimes your friend maybe he was to get a job, then he doesn't, then inside you're happy. You know, there are people like that. At least not
who feel
others are suffering.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are
So
happy
it is
when others are suffering.
You're not compassionate. Sorry, I don't know. It's in my end. Somebody is sending continuous something. Okay. So anyways, so the point is their lack of compassion, right? Lack of compassion, that they are not paradukha dukhi. The devotee means he has to feel. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Devotee means he has to be paradukha dukhi, meaning the main thing is, Prabhu, see, if you look at the point, what is happening? The false ego is the one which covers, it is making you identify with the body. And if you are a servant of Krishna, and if you identify yourself as a servant of Krishna, you will also look at the other person as the servant of the Lord, as the other person as a part and parcel of the Lord. In that case, you should have compassion because he is a part and parcel of Krishna. As I told you, devotees are Krishna's heart. So you don't have that mood of being a servant of the Lord. You don't have that mood yet. You are completely in that false ego, which is making you think that this person is, suffering and it's good for me. You're completely in that bodily platform. You lack compassion. You lack empathy. And you feel a kind of superiority because you feel secure now. previously due to insecurity, this guy is doing better than me. You are feeling insecurity. And because of that, envy crept in. And now that superiority is established because you're seeing that other person fall down, isn't it? So lack of compassion and envy is still there in you. That is because of false ego. Because you don't identify, yes, I'm the servant of the Lord. If you establish yourself as the servant of the Lord, you will look at others also in that mood. Whenever that envy creeps in, Prabhu, the only solution is how can I be of service to that person? How can I be of service? This person who is suffering, how can I be of service? That time envy will go. When you glorify that devotee whom you are envious of, that time that envy will slowly go. It will gradually only go. It will not go. But you are now making an attempt. And what happens by making this attempt? By making this attempt, Krishna sees your attempt and he will help you further on. He will help you to root out that envy completely in you, because he's seeing, yes, even though he's not comfortable with his devotee, he still is ready to do service to that devotee because he values me and my love. So that's why Krishna intervenes and he tries to help you now. He catches hold of you and he give you more opportunities to purify your heart, because you're coming to this level. Even though you're not comfortable, you want to still do it for Krishna's sake. You're able to understand, Prabhuji? Am I making sense?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So the mood of to combat this, the mood has to be mood of service, and the ego has to be that I am the servant of Krishna. And then when you establish that, you look at others also as the servants of Krishna, and Krishna is in the devotees are Krishna's heart. So I have to be of service to them. I can never be envious of them. Okay.
Yes, Mataji. And you like that Krishna also supports us when we decide just to take a step in the right direction. He does so much.
And that step is so difficult, Prabhuji. Practically, if you're so envious of somebody now, it's very difficult to take that step. But you're taking. So that's why he acknowledges that.
Yes, very true. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji.
True.
Haribo. Thanks for the wonderful class. You talked about how Krishna is very dear to Lakshmi ji, and despite that she gives everyone benedictions, still she is very eager to serve Krishna's lotus feet. Yes, and you also advised us about how to react, how to talk to devotees, how to be with devotees, how to associate, which was also very nice. We should never be angry towards devotees, criticize or blaspheme. Yes, and how also in the same manner, Vishnu also loves Lakshmi Ji very much. He keeps her in his heart. Also, we talked about how the Ganga purifies the whole three worlds and how it emanates from Krishna's lotus feet, which was very nice, and the different sampradayas also. So I think that's just a brief summary of the class, Mataji. So thank you so much for enlightening us, and all the devotees also who have given their time to join the class and listen in. So I will request everyone please unmute and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, glorification of our grace, Radhika Kasturi Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Grace Radhika Mataji ki
Jai.
Glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. And Prasanatma Prabhu, at this young age, you are really doing a great job of keenly attending the classes and making notes. Really very inspiring, and you're inspiring the whole group as well. Thank you, Prabhuji, for doing this. Really appreciative. Very young age, but very inspiring to see such devotion.
Yes,
thank you,
he doesn't even know Sanskrit, but he can speak all the shlokas and give their meanings very well.
Wonderful.
He is surely an inspiration for me.
Yes, yes, that's what I could sense that. Every class he's attending very nicely, very keenly, noting down the points and then summarizing it. This is very important, Prabhuji. Please continue doing that for others as well. But very nice. I'm very impressed, and I'm sure you're inspiring many others as well through this devotion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Gurudev, and also the same, you're also a very big inspiration to me, and always praying to be able to serve you, serve the devotees, and serve Krishna.
Very,
Thank you.
very
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.